Your anxiety is not a feeling. It is a habit. Your brain has become addicted to a single, destructive activity, trying to predict and control a future that does not exist. You believe your worry is a form of preparation, a necessary due diligence for a chaotic world. But it is not. It is a form of mental self-harm. It is the equivalent of running a full-body marathon every single day, just inside your own skull, leaving you exhausted, drained, and no better prepared for reality than you were before. You have given your mind the impossible job of being a fortune teller, and then you punish yourself for its inability to do it perfectly. This constant looping simulation of future disasters is the source of the background hum of anxiety that plagues modern life. But what if you could break this addiction? What if you could fire your brain from the impossible job of predicting the future and rehire it for the powerful, practical job of mastering the present? The ancient Stoics were not strangers to anxiety. They lived in a world of plagues, wars, and political instability far more chaotic than our own. Yet, they developed a powerful operating system for the mind designed specifically to dismantle the machinery of worry. Today, we are not here to talk about calming platitudes. We are here to provide a set of practical, strategic antidotes to the poison of overthinking. This is your guide to breaking the habit of anxiety and reclaiming the quiet, powerful clarity of the present moment. Antidote number 1. The anchor of the present, where anxiety cannot breathe. Anxiety has a fatal weakness. It cannot survive in the present moment. It is a time-traveling parasite that feeds exclusively on fantasies of the future or ghosts of the past. When you are truly, fully engaged with what is happening right now, the mental space for worry simply disappears. The first and most immediate antidote, therefore, is to train your ability to anchor yourself in the present. The anxious mind is like a kite in a hurricane, whipped around by the winds of what if. Grounding yourself in your physical senses is the act of grabbing the kite string and pulling it firmly back to earth. The problem: your mind is spinning, replaying a past mistake or rehearsing a future confrontation. You feel a tightness in your chest, your breathing is shallow, and you feel completely disconnected from your own body. The Stoic discipline: you must use your body to reclaim your mind. This involves a conscious, deliberate engagement with your 5 senses. This is not a metaphor. It is a neurological command that forces your brain's attention away from abstract worries and onto concrete, immediate reality. The practice: the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. This is a simple, powerful drill you can do anywhere, anytime, without anyone knowing. The moment you feel the spiral of anxiety begin, you will pause and silently name 5 things you can see right now. The grain of wood on your desk, a crack in the ceiling, the color of your coffee mug, a bird outside the window, the light reflecting off your phone screen. 4 things you can physically feel: the pressure of your feet on the floor, the texture of your shirt against your skin, the coolness of the desk under your hands, the tension in your shoulders. 3 things you can hear: the hum of the air conditioner, the distant sound of traffic, the sound of your own breathing. 2 things you can smell: the scent of your coffee, the soap on your hands. 1 thing you can taste: the lingering taste of your last meal, or simply the neutral taste inside your mouth. By the time you finish this 1-minute exercise, the hurricane of anxiety will have lost its power. You have not solved the future problem, but you have done something far more important. You have returned to the only place where you can actually solve any problem: the present moment. Antidote number 2. The dichotomy of control. The ultimate anxiety filter. Most anxiety stems from a fundamental error in focus. We spend the majority of our mental energy worrying about and trying to manage things that we have absolutely no control over. This is like trying to steer a ship by yelling at the ocean. It is a pointless, exhausting exercise that only leads to frustration. The Stoics built their entire operating system on one powerful, clarifying principle: the dichotomy of control. This is the ultimate filter for your worries. The principle: in any given situation, you must ruthlessly sort every element into one of 2 bins. Things I can control: my thoughts, my judgments, my choices, my actions, my effort. Things I cannot control: everything else: the weather, the past, the future, other people's opinions, their actions, the economy. The discipline. Your discipline is to make a conscious vow to invest 100% of your mental and emotional energy in the first bin, and to practice strategic indifference toward the second. The application. Let's apply this to a common source of anxiety, an upcoming job interview. Things you cannot control, the not my business bin. Whether the interviewer likes you, what questions they will ask, who the other candidates are, the final hiring decision. Worrying about these things is useless. Things you can control, the my business bin. How thoroughly you research the company, how well you prepare your answers to common questions, the quality of the questions you prepare to ask them, the outfit you choose to wear, getting a good night's sleep beforehand. By focusing all your energy on preparation, what you control, and deliberately letting go of the outcome, what you cannot control, you replace anxiety with purposeful action. You become incredibly effective while remaining internally calm. Antidote number 3, the fear rehearsal. Giving your nightmares a name. Vague, formless anxiety is the most terrifying kind. Your mind whispers, "What if something terrible happens?" But it never defines what terrible actually is. This allows your imagination to run wild, creating catastrophic scenarios that are far worse than reality. The Stoic antidote to this is a counterintuitive but incredibly powerful practice called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. The secret is to drag your formless fears into the light of day and look at them rationally. The problem. You are consumed by a vague worry. For example, what if I lose my job? This fear paralyzes you. The Stoic discipline. Instead of avoiding the fear, you will calmly and deliberately confront it. You will sit down with a pen and paper and walk through a 3-step process. Define the nightmare. Write down, in specific detail, the absolute worst-case scenario. Don't just write, "I lose my job." Write what would happen next. I would not be able to pay my rent. I would have to use my savings. I would have to tell my family and feel like a failure. Create a recovery plan. Now, brainstorm a list of specific practical actions you would take if this worst-case scenario actually happened. I would immediately update my resume. I would reach out to these 5 contacts in my network. I would cut these 3 expenses. I would apply for temporary work here. Identify preventative actions. Finally, list the small things you can do right now to prevent or mitigate the worst-case scenario. I can start saving an extra $100 a month. I can spend 1 hour a week learning a new skill. I can strengthen my network by having lunch with one colleague this week. This exercise does something magical. By giving your fear a specific shape and creating a concrete plan to deal with it, you strip it of its power. Your brain moves from a state of panic to a state of strategic problem solving. You realize that even the worst-case scenario, while difficult, is survivable. Antidote number 4. The acceptance engine. The end of what if. What if I had said something different? What if I had taken that other job? What if this project fails? This what-if thinking is a form of resistance to reality. It is a refusal to accept what has happened or what is happening, and this resistance is a major source of anxiety. The most advanced Stoic antidote is the practice of amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning a love of one's fate. This does not mean you have to be happy about negative events. It means you choose to accept every moment, without reservation, as a necessary part of your path. The mindset shift. You must move from seeing life as something that happens to you to seeing it as something that happens for you. Every event, especially the difficult ones, is not a punishment but a lesson. It is your curriculum. The question. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you must train yourself to ask, "How can I use this?" A difficult client is not a curse. They are a training opportunity to master patience and communication. An unexpected illness is not just suffering. It is a powerful reminder to prioritize your health. A betrayal is not just a wound. It is a harsh but necessary lesson in choosing your relationships more wisely. When you can genuinely say, "I would not have it any other way," because this event is necessary for me to become the person I am meant to be. You have achieved a profound level of peace. You are no longer fighting with reality. You are dancing with it. Antidote number 5. Purposeful action. The cure for overthinking. Anxiety and overthinking thrive in a vacuum of inaction. When you are sitting still, your mind is free to spin its wheels, creating endless loops of worry. The fastest and most effective way to break this cycle is with purposeful action. Action is the mortal enemy of anxiety. You cannot be consumed by worry about a future presentation while you are actively researching and building the slides for it. You cannot be paralyzed by fear of networking while you are on the phone scheduling a coffee meeting. The principle. The secret is not to wait until you feel motivated or unafraid to act. That day may never come. You must act first, and the right feelings will follow. Action creates clarity. Action builds momentum. Action is the cure. The discipline, the next smallest step. When you are feeling overwhelmed and anxious, don't think about the entire mountain you have to climb. Just identify the next single smallest physical step you can take. If you are anxious about your finances, the next smallest step is not to create a perfect budget. It is to find one bill and pay it. If you are anxious about a difficult conversation, the next smallest step is not to rehearse the whole script. It is to open your email and write the person's name in the to field. If you are anxious about your health, the next smallest step is not to design a perfect workout plan. It is to put on your shoes and walk outside for 5 minutes. These tiny actions break the spell of paralysis. They send a powerful signal to your brain that you are in control, that you are moving forward. And a mind in motion has no room for the ghosts of anxiety. A practical exercise, the worry audit and action plan. This exercise is designed to translate these antidotes into a concrete, actionable plan for your specific anxieties. The drill: take out a piece of paper. This is your worry audit. The instructions: the audit. On the left side of the page, write down the top 3 to 5 things that are causing you the most anxiety right now. Be specific. The action plan. On the right side of the page, create 2 columns for each worry: control and action. In the control column, answer one question. Is this worry primarily about something I can control or something I cannot? Yes, no. If the answer is yes, in the action column, write down the single smallest action you can take in the next 24 hours to address it. If the answer is no, in the action column, write down your phrase of acceptance. This is the sentence you will repeat to yourself when this worry appears. Sure. This outcome is not in my control, and I choose to release it. The purpose. This exercise forces you to move from the foggy, passive state of worrying to the clear, active state of problem-solving, or acceptance. It is a practical application of the entire Stoic system on a single piece of paper. The final lesson is this: anxiety is not a character flaw. It is a mental habit built on a faulty premise, the premise that you can and should control the future. By installing a new operating system based on Stoic principles, you can break this habit. You learn to anchor yourself in the present, to focus only on what you can control, to confront your fears strategically, and to accept reality as it comes. Your training begins with a single act of taking control. Your challenge is simple. Perform the worry audit on just one of your anxieties. Identify if it's in your control, and if it is, define your single smallest action. To commit to this first step, go to the comments below and make a public declaration. Write, "I will take one step." This is a statement that you are choosing action over anxiety. If this guide has provided you with a clear toolkit, a like helps it reach others who are also struggling. And to continue learning how to build a resilient, peaceful mind, consider subscribing. Thank you for being here. You have the power to fire your brain from its job as a fortune teller. It's time to give it the better, more powerful job of mastering right now.